Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to PSGL F5. We're here for the season finale. We're here for the final time in season number 30. The championship will be decided today. No matter what happens, I think we kind of have an idea who's going to take the victory, seeing as Stefano unfortunately cannot make it once again this evening. We kind of already have a winner, but still a great race here in the Bahrain International Circuit ahead of us now as we look on board and qualifying. 2 minutes down on the clock, 15 to go. We're looking at Sanchez. You can see him now heading down towards the very, very tricky downhill left-hander. You have to get the braking absolutely perfect for that one. We'll see. Sanchez has he's picked up a few podiums this season, actually. He's done a very good job, I have to admit. There we go, apologies for that. Wasn't sure if we actually had the broadcast up. That would have been a bad moment. It's Kajri Pass who goes to the top of the timing sheets so far. The Red Bullman, followed by his teammate Rick in third. But Pro Gamer splits the two as it stands. Here's Dara Smith. He shoots to the top of the timing sheets. Went for a bold strategy, as he has many times this season in Imola. Did not work out on that occasion, unfortunately for him. We can see, here comes Jerry Bussell. He's into the pit lane. Jerry has got 3 podiums in the last 3 races. He's only had 4 appearances in the tier. 3 of them have been on a champagne spraying place. Of course, no champagne here in Bahrain, but it still will be a podium if he can finish in that top 3. This man as well has finished twice in the top 3 in the United States and in Imola. Bugatti are on board with him now. It's purple middle sector. He's on the medium compound of tyres as the McLaren man. He heads into the final 2 corners, 14 and 15. Under the Gulf Air sponsorship, sponsors this circuit, of course, and across the line it will be 6th for Bugatti. He's not tackling the top just yet on those mediums. Here's Baril rounding the final corner. Can the Ferrari-man improve on that lap? He absolutely can. He'll beat Pro Gamer. The medium lap is good enough for 3rd. Let's see what Little Blocks is. He's gone the middle sector. As Zane's purple in 1, so we'll keep an eye on Zane as we head to Lickle Blocks. That's Pro Gamer, I believe, actually beating Baril once again. Pro Gamer has did a 2nd lap on those softs, so he'll definitely want to improve on that lap. Here comes Lickle Blocks rounding the middle. The middle sector, absolutely not. He's in the final corner. Is Lickle Blocks. As they throttle down nicely, accelerates towards the line, and where will this put him? It'll put him 7th. It's not bad, and we'll see what Zane can do. He was up in the 1st sector. Rounding 14 and 15. Very difficult corner actually to get right. We've seen Alex Albon and Jack Aitken have a bit of a few problems in that corner. It's 3rd for Zane. It's not too shabby indeed. Here comes the man who could seal it all today. On his outlap, it is Marcel. This would be a great moment for him to seal it up today, if he can do it. But first we'll take a look at Simon. Hasn't been here in a while. He's we welcome you back, Simon. He's on a bit of a run here. '11th for Simon on this occasion. He'll be improving, and that is for sure. Let's have a look at Marcel. We'll go on board with the soon-to-be champion as he heads for a lap of the Bahrain International Circuit. Good first few corners into 6. It's purple for Marcel. He'd love to round out with his second win of the season. He absolutely would love to round out with his second win of the season. Here comes Marcel, rounding into turn number 10. You can lock up easily there. Of course, these guys are absolutely no assists on this game. Down towards turn number 11. Good overtaking opportunity this is, if you can chuck one up the inside. And Marcel takes a nice bit of curve there, short shifting up to 5th gear, as he should do in his Alfa Romeo Sauber car. Touch that curb, you might find yourself spinning. He gets very close to it as we head through 13. It's a purple middle for Marcel. This is a good lap. He's looking to beat Darragh Smith at the top of the timing sheets. Rounding 15, across the line is a pole. It's not. It's behind his teammate in 4th, and he won't be happy with that, despite it's going to be his crowning day. Jerry Bissell is the man on form at the minute, arguably the best man in the tier in the last few races. He is finished second, and 3rd in Singapore, United States, and Imola. Can he do the same in Bahrain? Needs a good qualifying first. We have 9 minutes to go here as he heads around. 14 and 15. Oh, a bit wide there for Jerry Bissell. He's going to lose some time. Doesn't lose enough. That is pole position provisionally. 8 minutes and 50 on the clock. He'll have to do another lap for sure if he wants to hold it, because Darragh Smith can still improve. Marcel can definitely still improve. Still pushing, actually. So he will need to do another job at that. Here comes Sanchez across the line, up by about a second. Where can this pop him? He'll pop him 9th. Good luck for Sanchez. He just slots in just behind his Alpine teammate, who's on a softer compounded tyres, so that's good. That's a good performance so far for TTGE Sanchez. So Darragh Smith is purple on his lap. He's looking to take his first pole of the season here. Has not taken a pole in the F5 tier. Rounding turn number 12 into 13. The Irishman's on a good run here. He's looking to beat Jerry Bissell. He's doing that so far. 1.5 tenths of a second is what he's up by on his lap. That'll pop him into 1st if he can carry this last corner well. We've seen Jerry Bissell lose a bit of time here through the last corner, through 14 and 15. Here comes Darragh Smith. Oh, he's lost a lot in that final sector. That's not enough for Darragh Smith. Can you put an actual time instead of... Well, you could grab a calculator either. That works too. But here comes Pro Gamer. He's a 10th off on his best time. It looks like he won't be improving on this run. He'll have to have another bite of the cherry. Here comes Rick, rounding the final corner. He's right on that exit curve as Rick. We've seen that on his first lap. We've seen it on his second. It's a 26-1 and it puts him up to 3rd. He has gained a lot there by pushing the limits, and he beats his teammate K3PA5, both the FES representatives for Red Bull Racing, and he slotted in just behind Darragh Smith in 2nd position. Lakitu's invalidated in his lap. What about Toxic Tomato? Oh, he's a 2nd down. That's not very good. Simon is about to start a flying lap. Liquor Blocks crosses the line to start another run. That's Rick. Is that Rick? Rick is up again at a time. He's gone for a 2nd lap here. You don't often see that with the high tyre wear around Bahrain. And would it be a bold prediction if I said that we won't actually have rain this race? I don't think it would really be. But here comes Rick down towards turn number 10. We'll stick with him because he's the only man improving in qualifying so far. Oh, he's invalid. That's not good. That's not good there. Pro Gamer says he's about 7 seconds down on his lap. Liquid Blocks has ran wide. Bugatti's up on his time. And I think he's lifted off there as well. A lot of drivers struggling around the Bahrain International Circuit. A lot of drivers are struggling. Liquid Blocks is up on his time. I think we thought he lifted off. He absolutely didn't. He's still pushing, flat pushing to the limit in that Uralkali Haas machine, powered with a Ferrari engine in the back of that one, a V6 hybrid Ferrari. As he ran, oh, he's into the pit lane, doesn't want to improve. He's into the pit lane, so didn't fancy improving on that one. Oh, there goes Simon, he goes to 4th. We told you the Frenchman would improve. He's gone up to 4th, that's a good lap for Shizou. Simon for Alpha Tauri. There's 2 Alpha Tauris here tonight. There is Simon, and we have Axel, of course, and Simon started in the top, both in the top 3 in Singapore in qualifying. Sadly, Axel didn't have the race to match, but Jerry did. He was up there as well, and he finished on the podium. Axel dives into the pit lane just like a lot of the drivers here this evening. Zane is going to follow suit, and so will Simon when he gets back round. And into the pits goes Simon. Marcel is out. The man who could be crowned champion, he's on a push lap here. He is on an absolute flyer. If he can just hold this one towards the line. There's 3 minutes 30 to go in qualifying. Where can Marcel go? Only go second. He cannot beat Jerry Bissell. And look at that, he set the exact same lap as Dara Smith. To the centimetre of asphalt, they've set the exact same lap time. So if Dara Smith can even find 0.001 on his lap, he will beat the Alfa Romeo, and that's Toxic Mano out of the session. He's had enough. That's in the pit lane, I believe. That is in the pit lane. Marcel's not going to get another run in here either, folks. That's his qualifying over. There's no down below you're cheering for. Of course, it won't matter much for the championship, but always good to cheer for someone in the race. We'll have a look at Dara Smith now as he heads through 15 and across the line. Right about now, he's going to start his qualifying run. This could be good enough for his first pole position of the season if he can nail it. Down towards turn number 1. Gets it hooked in nicely. Short shift up to 4th to get the traction down. He short shifts up to 5th actually. Gets the DRS nice and open as we head down towards turn number 4. Very difficult corner to stay inside the track limits of. Just as Max Verstappen, as he has a car here on the right hand side. That's Axel. Pulls out of the way nicely. Almost won the Hungarian Grand Prix. Did Dara Smith had another great race in Saudi Arabia, another good race in Imola. Sadly that one went down the drain for him for all the wrong reasons. He'd love a pole tonight, down towards turn 9 and into 10. He's got that brake beautifully. This is a good lap for the Safina-sponsored Williams. We'll see what the sector splits are like. That Sanchez, he's had enough. He'll start 11th, probably the spot he wants to start here as he enter turn number 11 now. Dara Smith is looking decent on this run. We'll get the sector splits up here. He's up by a 10th. This is good enough for pole. He lost a lot in the final sector, so he has a bit to gain here on his lap time. If he can absolutely nail it, we've seen he was a bit difficult through 12 and through 13, but he did it good that time. Through 14, through 15. Is this going to be enough to take a first pole of the season, or will Jerry Bissell cruelly deny? Here comes Dara Smith across the line. It is good enough for pole by 0.2 of a second. Jerry Bissell is backed off his lap. He'll have another go. Dara Smith clunks down the gears. He has did all he can. Needs to get out of the way because there is an Alfa Romeo behind him. That is Zane, and Dara Smith does get out of the way absolutely beautifully. Zane is not a bit of a run, but we need to keep an eye on Jerry Bissell. He's heating up the tyres. He's going for another sprint. Keep an eye on Rick as well. He was good in the first part of qualifying. He's in 4th now. He has been right up there all session, so we'll see what he can do. If he can find 3/10s, he might just find himself on pole position. Jerry Bassell has started his run now for Mercedes. That is Tara Smith causing the yellow flag. He's just pulled off, letting drivers through. Wants to save the tyres that he will start on as he heads back to the pit lane. Here comes Jerry Bassell. What's sector 1 like? We'll get a split up here. Oh, he's down. Jerry Bassell's down on his time. He needs to find it. There goes K3. Improves by almost 0.5 of a second to go second. What about Rick? Rick's up on time as well. We'll keep an eye on Rick here. This could be a good end to the session for Red Bull Racing. There's a Haas off, that's Lickle Blocks. He's off at turn number 3. And that's a purple sector 2 for Rick. This is looking very well for Rick. He could possibly take a surprise pole. He's been down. It's been really between Darrell Smith and Jerry Bassell and Marcel for pole. But here comes Rick. He's invalid at the last corner. That's cruel. That is very cruel. But Jerry Bassell is up on his time. Is he going to invalidate as well? He needs to keep this lap green. If he wants to take pole, it is still green. He's possibly extended track limits just a little bit there. But he's ran it along and has ran it well. But he runs wide at this next corner. And this one surely isn't going to stay valid. Oh, it is. This could be good enough for pole position for Jerry Bassell. It won't. It's Darrell Smith on pole for the first time this season. Unless somebody from the backpack can deny him. But Simon's pulled in. Lakitu, could he do something? Could Baril pull an absolute masterstroke out of his Ferrari-powered car? Lakitu, he's going to get a bit of a toe. It's not going to be good enough for pole. What about Baril? Baril's up by 0.7 of a second here. This could be a monster of a lap for Baril. He backs off. He fancies 11th, meaning Darrell Smith takes pole for the first time in his F5 career. He's waited until the final round of the season and round 15, but he's got the job done, and the Williamsman could be redemption day for Hungary. He's on pole here in Bahrain. And that is qualifying, ladies and gentlemen. That is qualifying. That was an interesting session. Darrell Smith takes pole for Williams Racing. It's a 25.8. Darrell Smith, and he does very well there to take the pole position. Jerry Bassell in second, just like he was last week. Oh no, apologies. He was on pole last week. K3 Pass in third, followed by Marcel, the current championship leader, leading by 15 points. Rick in 5th, Zane in 6th, Axel 7th, Simon 8th, Lakitu 9th, Pro Gamer in 10th, Baril in 11th, Hazara 12th, Sanchez 13th, Lickleblocks 14th, Bugatti 15th. He loves a good run from the back. Keep an eye for the McLarenman later on this evening, and Toxic Tomato, unfortunately, where it's been most of the season, will start from last position. It's unlucky. It's really unlucky for him. As we wait now. As to be expected, we have a dry spectacle on our hands. Absolutely no moisture in the air. To be fair, if we did get some, I would be pleasantly surprised. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Bahrain International Circuit here in Sakir. We are here for a night race in Formula 1. The first ever night race here was held in 2014 with a 17 million investment, which saw 495 lighting poles and 4,500 lighting fittings installed. There's a fact you didn't expect to get today tuning into Formula 1. Turn 1, which we have just gone through, you can see here comes Bugatti through, was named after Michael Schumacher after his skiing accident in 2013. We still keep fighting, Michael. Our thoughts are with your family. It's the only corner on the circuit to have a name. The rest are all just numbers. It's a 5.412 kilometre circuit, 3.363 miles. It's 15 turns, and the lap record is still held by McLaren. Is it Lando Norris? Is it Daniel Ricciardo? No, it's not. It's Pedro Della Rosa with a 1:31.447. It's the first F1 race to ever be held in the Middle East. Of course, now we do have Saudi Arabia, neighbouring Saudi Arabia. And a fun fact is there'll be no champagne present on tonight's podium. Well, one, because it's virtual, and two, because there is some alcohol limitations in Bahrain. It's not totally banned, but it will be a absolutely bright, sparkly and fruity rose water given to our top three tonight. The battle for the championship, Marcel leads by 15 points over Stefano, who is absent, meaning Marcel will be crowned champion tonight. The battle for P2, however, is between Stefano, Bjorn and Barril. Bjorn and Stefano are not here either, so big chance for Barril. If he can take a win tonight from 11th on the grid, he will take second in the championship. Alfa Romeo of Marcel and Zane won the F5 Constructors Championship this evening, and we are lining up on the grid. No black box here this evening. He won last week. Bugatti was second. He starts 15th. And Jerry Bissell was third. Can he go two better? He starts second behind Dara Smith. And who are the lovely commentators for tonight? That's a nice comment. I don't normally get that. Hello, my name is Evan. I don't normally get who are the lovely commentators, so I'll take that. It's normally some form of abuse. But we're lining up on the grid for the Bahrain Grand Prix, the season finale here in PSGL F5. Toxic Tomato and Bugatti line us up on the grid here in Sakir, the capital of Bahrain. We've 3, we've 4, we've 5 red lights. We go racing in Bahrain. That's an absolute fantastic launch by the Mercedes, and he's already alongside and past the Williams before we've even got the exit of the pit lane. Horrid start for the Williams. Marcel tries to chuck it up the inside of the Red Bull of K3 Pass. K3 Pass is going to hold it here through turn number 2 and through 3. All cleanly through. Can Dara Smith get a bit of a run of Jerry Bissell? Try regain his lead. Try regain his reputation. No, he absolutely cannot. He's lost that one quicker than he got it, and now Barril is already up a spot and almost past teammate Lakitu. That's what he needs to do if he wants to get that second in the championship. He's only 2 points behind third. We already have a retirement. That's Pro Gamer for Aston Martin, and now we are already very quickly under the virtual safety car there. Very unsure to what happened, but a very quick end to this Grand Prix for Pro Gamer. That's at the exit of turn number 4. Commentate with James Head sometimes. Absolutely know James very, very well. I've commentated with him a few times. What a fantastic guy. But we are here now. That was a very quick start for Jerry Bissell, and Dara Smith now needs to fight this one back. I have actually raced Dara personally around this circuit, so keep an eye for him. He's a bit of a tire demon on his day. He always goes for something different, which is something I like in a racing driver. We'll run you through the positional change. It is up 4 for Bugatti. He's your biggest gainer. Told you, bit of a demon in the race. Keep an eye on him. Hazara in second. Barril. Sorry, Hazara is up 2. Certainly not in second. Barril is up 2 as well. It's up 1 for Lakitu. Up 1 for Marcel. Up 1 for Jerry. Biggest loser was, well, probably Pro Gamer, considering he's out of the race. But it also was Simon, who's down 4. I think we're going to go racing here again as we are starting to speed up. Of course, we've no indication up here in the booth when the virtual safety car is going to end. The drivers do, and they seem like they're speeding up a little bit now. We drive with Hazara and TNRL. Would I be correct saying that is a Norwegian league? But here we go. We go racing again, as we head into turn number 4, the Williams of Dara Smith is, a bit wide there actually, but he's hunting down the Mercedes of Jerry Bissell. He wants his first win in the F5 tier, absolutely, with the first win last week in the form of Black Box, and it seems like Axel could be struggling a little bit here, as Zane almost thought, maybe I'll chuck one up the inside, but didn't want to risk a front wing this early in the Grand Prix. We've 29 laps, and some of these guys may possibly be on a 2-stop. Tyre wear is very difficult around the Sakir International Circuit, so they need to manage them very well. As that is a fantastic shot from the bridge of FES Rick. FES having a good time here for Red Bull, 4th and 5th. Of course, Rick, not a main driver himself. K3 is Rick, though, doing a good job for the Red Bull Racing team. A poor season for Red Bull overall. I'll get the constructors' standings up now. Not on screen, unfortunately. I don't have that technology. Red Bull are actually, they're last in the Constructors' Championship, which is not very good, and they will be wanting to improve on that next season as the fastest laps come tumbling in. Can Dara Smith have a bit of an attack on his race leading counterpart? No, he cannot. DRS is enabled. That'll make things a bit easier for the Irishman, but it won't make things totally easy, because Jerry Bissell, he's a natural-born racer. He knows what to do, and he's a car behind him. Seen a great defence from George Russell at the weekend. Wasn't that fantastic? Could we see the Dutchman be the man doing the defending today? Bit wide for Rick there, we could see, for the Red Bull. Not much overtaking happening at the minute, which is... well, we're kind of talking about George Russell, but there's not a lot happening at the moment. Hazara is... oh, here we go. There goes Simon. Oh, that's unlucky. He's facing the correct way, so not totally out of it. He is facing the correct way, but he's going to struggle to get those temperatures down in this very warm Middle Eastern sun. Even though it's nighttime, trust me, this is warmer than we'll ever get in East Europe. And I believe that's him gone again. That is very unlucky, Simon. The turn 10's an easy corner to spin at, totally, especially when you've a bit of warm tyres. Hazara going to get top 5 at the end. You heard it here first. Well, Hazara finished in the top 5 the last time F5 came to Bahrain, and that's Simon gone at the back again, unfortunately. But yeah, Hazara finished top 5 the last time he came to Bahrain last season. He, I believe, finished P3 on the podium, so he's definitely a good driver around the Bahrain circuit here. Keep an eye on him. Could we have a duel in the desert from Hazara, possibly? We might from the two Ferraris. We've seen the two Ferraris have a bit of a scramble in 2019. That was Sebastian Vettel and Charles Leclerc on that day. We have Lakitu and Berea both on very different compounded tyres, which we will get on screen for you now, because strategy is crucial around Bahrain. As Barrio very much struggling through turn number 7. It's a bit of a swooping chicane, as the technical men describe it. 5, 6 and 7 is all we describe it as. But Jerry, right along that curve. That's an interesting line, mind you. I'm not quite sure the benefits of that, but I'm sure there's some reason to the move, as Dara Smith hooks it up on the curb a bit too aggressively there. We're probably not going to point out each one of their mistakes. That would not be a fun afternoon for anybody. As Toxic Tomatoes right on the back of Sancho is. Toxic Tomato, he's running 14th, but he is still with the guys. It is a Mercedes in 1 and Mercedes in 14. Bit of a mixed bag. Sort of reminiscent to Hamilton and Bottas at some point last season, I think. As Marcel sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. He's going to struggle to get past Dara because Dara has DRS, although he may go for the race lead as we head down to turn number 4. The Williams Racing machine has not got it done into turn number 1, but we see James struggle on the... Can he get the job done down towards turn number 4? That's a yellow flag. That's the Lakitu gone round. Ferrari in the wall. He's almost got it straightened up, but he did not apologise. I believe there's a microphone crackled somewhere down the straight, but that is what happened there for Lakitu, unfortunately, there and now. We're getting into a right sort of a train here as we head through the very slow turn number 8, one of the slowest corners on the circuit. Let's look how much Dara Smith could just gain in the braking zone there. definitely going to have a go on the main straight. We'll get the batteries on screen just quickly. It is in the favour of Darragh Smith for sure. 75% to about 54. The Williamsman is looking comfortable here. Remember, these guys are going to be pitting very soon. They'll have to try stretch it to about lap 10 if they want to make a one-stop work, but if they're going to make a two-stop work, they will be pitting very, very, very soon. Mercedes, of course, won last week. It was a 1-3 for the Mercedes outfit last week. Last week was Black Box's first win in 2 seasons and his first podium since Brazil of this season, his second ever podium in the F5 tier. Darragh Smith just cannot get to that Mercedes down the straight. Running a lot of straight line speed, I think Jerry Bissell is, because you can see him just struggling through the corners. And if Darragh Smith backs off a little bit more here, he will find himself under massive, massive pressure from Marcel GRZNY behind. Oh, mistake! That's K3 Pass. He's had a bit of a wiggle. And now the 2 Red Bull Racing cars, where are they going to battle? No, Rick just tucks in behind. He thinks the better of it. And the 2 teammates, both for esports and here in the tier, think better of colliding this evening. They have better plans than an argument for this Monday night, as Axel is right on the back of the senior team now, driving for the AlphaTauri Honda. As there goes Rick. Now Rick has made the mistake for Red Bull. Here comes AlphaTauri. Can they pressure a move? No, Rick has just about kept in the DRS. Well, he had the activation point anyways, so that's why he kept that, although Zane is right behind Axel now. Axel, every car is just forcing themselves upon another, and that's definitely not going to end well for somebody in this train, because they will be the ones overtaken. And if there is a dislodgement in this train, that could ruin a few races. Marcel, though, might be the one to dislodge this train by going for a move on Darragh Smith, the championship, soon-to-be championship winner as it stands. Would absolutely love to take his second win of the season. It would be his 6th podium of the season if he was to finish where he lies. As here comes Darragh Smith. The Williams just backs in. Marcel almost goes for the race lead. Not the race lead, apologies. Almost goes for 2nd place due to Darragh Smith not going for the race lead. And here comes Darragh Smith again. What's a nice name to see in the chat? Hello to Kyle in the chat. Super cool to see you commentate on PSGL. I've been here almost 4 seasons, so it's not really a rare occurrence. But yeah, it's nice to see you, Kyle. We'll get back into the action now, because we've a bit of a scrap for the lead. The 2 Red Bulls have managed to calm themselves down from a few wiggles, and now K3 Pass is looking like he's a bit feisty on the back of Marcel here, isn't he? The 2 Red... Oh! His teammate almost went for a little tip round as we head through turn number 10, and I think these guys may just stay in unison until we get to the pit stops. Baril will lead this race after the soft guys all come into the pit lane, but the big thing here is, how can these guys get the mediums to work? Can they bring them to the end? Can they get them lit up pretty quickly? We'll have to wait and see. We've a FES fan in the chat, good to see you. The 2 FES drivers running well here in 4th and 5th, but need to get a move on because they're under big pressure from Axel behind. TRT Axel, I'm not pronouncing the rest of his PSN, that would be a mouthful, as Jerry just gets the run through 15 every time. Darragh Smith is under big pressure from Marcel. Marcel could chuck one up the inside if he just burns a bit more battery, but he's not close enough because Darragh Smith gets that slipstream every time on the run down to the Michael Schumacher corner here in turn number 1. He almost went for a move there to Darragh Smith, but just not quite close enough. Baril is looking much better on these mediums than Zane is. Zane is burning a lot of his ERS, and the Ferrari-man is just not close enough to go for the move into turn number 4, but those medium tyres are definitely better at this stage. You can see him almost pushing that rear diffuser round. As the key to, I think that might be it for the Ferrari-man this afternoon, or this evening even. I think it might just be it. Hello, seems to be carrying on. Yep, he's gone for the hards. He is carrying on as Lakitu. Good to see. Good to see someone soldiering on in the final race of the season. 3 FES drivers. Darragh's FES too. See, I know Darragh from his TRT days. So that's what I always associated with, which obviously is not true. We were in TRT together. There's your random fact of the day that no one cares about, as Axel runs a bit wide through turn number 11. We'll have to wait and see how that develops, but Marcel is right on the back of Darragh Smith here. He is really looking comfortable. Darragh Smith is starting to struggle on these soft compound tyres, but to be fair, it's very difficult to keep with a man like TF Jerry Bissell, and he did that extremely well. I promise you I didn't mean to rhyme, but unfortunately happened. Look at this run! Look at this run for the championship leader! Down towards turn number 1 goes the Alfa Romeo. One of the Red Bulls is into the pit lane, and so is Axel. Here we go. Darren Smith for the race lead. Around the outside of the Mercedes-man. It's gonna be late as he's pushed off the circuit, and this could allow Marcel to swap up the inside. Oh, they've made contact. It's a spin in unison. Oh, Marcel's just about caught it, but the Williams is off and into the wall, and his front wing is no doubtably gone. Awful stuff for the Williams. He was running so well. Marcel kicks a bit of Kimi Raikkonen spirits in and catches the car just like that same Alfa Romeo did a couple of years ago. But that is a horrible spin for Hazara round the outside. The soft tyres have completely died for Marcel. He's struggling just to keep the car on the road. He is definitely struggling just to keep the car on the road here. The championship leader, he'd still win the championship as it stands. He wins the championship even if he DNFs today. That's how close we are. It was just not done mathematically. As old Darren Smith, oh, he's been taken around from the pitters. Oh, it's more front wing damage for Darren Smith, and Axel unfortunately could not avoid that one. That Williams just understeered into the side of him. But, well, things aren't looking too shabby for Jerry now. He's doing really good. At the top, he'll probably go into the pits in the next 2 laps, or could be this one. We will see where K3 can get the undercut. FES need a new man in second spot. They have a man in second spot now in the former Rick, and piling into the pit lane goes Mercedes, goes Red Bull. That's very late on the brakes for Rick, and Barril leads this Grand Prix. I imagine we'll see Marcel in as well. We will see where K3 pass comes out in regards to Jerry Bassell. Oh, here comes Toxic Tamano. He's going to chuck one up the inside of Sancho. Oh, it's bad. Oh, it's bad. Very late. That was a bit aggressive there. We'll see. Where will Jerry Bassell come out in relation to K3 pass? Here he is. There he's on the right hand side. And Axel takes the lead. Provisioning of the Grand Prix. This is Jerry Bassell up the inside of the Red Bull. And we've seen a Mercedes and this very Red Bull go scrapping here before. Toxic Tomato picks up a 3-second time penalty. That was for that probably poor executed move, and Sancho is. But K3 and Axel both scrapping for the lead. Both got the undercut on Jerry. So Jerry, despite having a 1-second lead, has come out in what is provisionally third place, with Axel now provisionally leading the Bahrain Grand Prix. FES have had a bit of a turnaround there because their man is in a good spot. Bugatti gets past Hazara. Someone said Hazara in the top 5. He currently is in the top 5. Still has to make a pit stop, and we still have 19 laps left to go. This race is not over yet, folks. Here we go then. We'll have to wait and see. Can the medium runners pit for softs in the latter stages? That'll be the big indicator for tyres. Zane piles into the pit lane, and I have a feeling he's going to drop a few spots here. Zane has never really ran well here in the F5 tier in Bahrain in his 2 seasons. Now, let's see. Can K3 have a go on Axel? Axel, we know, is not the most consistent driver over the course of a season, but he certainly can be fast at individual circuits. I think Jerry could have a go at K3 here, if they're not all careful, and tucking into the slipstream. Just look how powerful this DRS is. We head down to turn 1. K3 goes red. We're free wide. Down into turn number 1. Jerry to the inside of the Red Bullman, and they've almost made contact with K3 hanging it there. We've seen 2 cars crash here before, and it's millimetre perfect for K3 around the outside. But now Jerry leads. He's got the exit. Axel goes up the inside of the Red Bullman, and now it's a big swapperoo as Jerry is leading this race provisionally. What a turnaround for the mighty Dutchman. Can he go one better than his best result of P2 this season? On course to do so. He'll still be under pressure down the straights. We've just seen how powerful the DRS was. It's now Axel's turn to have a go. It's okay for his turn to have a go. Rick is right with us as well, and Zane hasn't lost out too much. Marcel could still plot a comeback here, folks. He would love to finish the season on a bit of a high. It's a 3-second time penalty with Darren Smith, and he's a bit of a fallen soldier in this one. Here we go. That's a bit of a gap pulled. for Jerry. Oh, yellow flag. It is Dara Smith, unfortunately, at the back. That's very unlucky. Down towards turn number 4, can Axel have a go? He might possibly, and I think this is Dara Smith's attempt to end the race for himself. Well, I hope not, because that would be a penalty, and that's not good going into a new season with new opportunities and new chances. So I hope it was just an error on the braking there for the young Irishman. Absolutely no bias in regards to nationality favourites, that's all I'll say. There's a bit of a scrap here between Simon and Lakitu. This is very different circumstances, but the two tyres probably feel just as bad at this stage in the race. As he chucks it up the inside goes the Frenchman. Whoa! We've popped off the wrong camera there. Side by side into 6. This is great scrapping. As that is Dara out and puts himself out of his misery. It was a real opportunity, but still positive with his first pole of the season. Great battle for... What is 13th here? As could Simon chuck one up the inside into turn 10? No, just backs out, and we're going to have to pop up quickly to the more important battles of the day. As here comes Zico Blocks. Is he close enough to Toxic Tomato? No, he absolutely isn't. What about K3? Is he close enough to Axel? And this PSGL sign-ups, nope, they have not opened yet for the new season. You're all good on that front. You can keep an eye on the Twitter pages if you want to sign up. There's a yellow flag in sector number 1. Oh, that is just Dara Smith's car. Apologies for that. That is just the Williams. As here comes Axel. Could he have a bit of a run on Jerry here? Jerry's doing very well to defend, I have to say. Although he's less than 10% ERS now. You can see by the red light flashing on the back of the car. We'll try catch it next time. Indicates that they have less than 10% of the energy system, the battery deployment. They can do it by pressing the X button on their steering wheel, or if they have a PlayStation controller, it's also the X button. We'll see here if Jerry uses a tump going down the bit of the straight here. We will. You'll see the red light flashing. It's K3 looking good here for Red Bull. He's looking a lot steadier than he was on the soft stint. Here we go. I sense a bit of a tussle. We've 15 laps to go, and this is not looking like it's going to be the most comfortable victory for any of these 14 drivers who wish to win this Grand Prix. Down the main straight here in Sakir to start lap 14 for these guys. There you can see the red light flashing on Jerry Bassell. Will the AlphaTauri chuck one up the inside? No, he will not, and we will all stay in unison as Jerry runs wide. This is a chance for Axel to possibly take what would be his best ever result by a landslide if he could win this one. Will he chuck one up the inside into turn number 4? No, just backs out. And really, K3 is looking like he needs to get past Axel so we can have a go at Jerry. He looks like he's the most pace out of anyone. That's Marcel picking up a 3-second time penalty, as the medium runners will still come into play here because they will be pitting for softs in about 6 laps time. This is all still to play for a lot of these guys, especially Baril. Baril is a bit of a good driver. When we go to the other strategy, Baril will always carry himself well when on a different compound of tyre, and as you can see, he's leading the race. He was leading in Hungary and United States, and in both locations he won. And the only 2 times he's been leading this season, there's a statistic for you. As really here, K3 needs to get past Axel. That's the most important move in this train, if you do ask me. Down the main straight we go, through 14 and 15. No Alex Albon moments for these Red Bulls, they don't want one. As that is Lickle Blocks past Toxic Tomato. There's another bit of a scrap going on here. I feel that train will stay in unison behind, so we will see what Toxic Tomato can do. Can he have a run up the inside? Can Sanchez have a run up the inside of Tomato down towards turn number 4? No, these guys stay in unison as well. That's a 3-second time penalty for Shizou Simon. See, we've 2 sort of trains here, and they're not separating. Oh, that's a mistake. That's a big mistake from AlphaTauri. This could be a big run for K3. Although Axel, I have to say, he's recovered it well from a bit of an error. Although, Jerry, this is your time to push. If you can pull out a 1 second here of Axel, then I would reckon you've almost won the race, because K3 is still stuck behind Axel here, unfortunately. We're going to have 14 laps to go as Bahrain crosses the line to start 16. I know it looks like it's 13 laps, but trust me, it isn't. Unfortunately, lap counters work that way. Here we go, down the main straight again. Is K3 close enough to Axel? No, he isn't. He really isn't. Is Sanchez close enough to Toxic Tomato? Toxic Tomato is in AI mode, actually, so this could be a fairly straightforward move for Sanchez. Oh, he's got out of it just at the right point. Still could be a move on for the young Sanchez. No, it isn't. As there seems to be a bit of a common theme tonight. If you've been watching for a while, we've certainly been spectating a few of these trains. As Hazara picks up a penalty. Oh, that's Simon. Gone at the back. He's managed to keep his car moving and has kept all 4 tyres on it, which is quite a key element for these Formula 1 cars, is to have all 4 tyres on it, as is most cars. That's probably the dumbest thing I've ever said. But, we'll see what happens from now on. His teammate is holding up the 2 Red Bulls here, Simon's teammate. Down towards the braking zone. That's Simon into the pit lane, and he's actually changing his tyres. I thought it would have been a retirement, but he knows. We can still get a safety car at any point in this Grand Prix. We have not had one yet. It's been a fairly clean race. This race will be spiced up in a few moments, because we'll get these medium guys into the pit lane fairly soon, actually. It will be fairly soon, because the softs can do about 10 laps at a stretch. And we'll work from there. Was that a bit of pore poisoning for the Red Bull? I didn't know that was in the game. If you don't know what the pore poisoning is, it's if you watch Formula 1, it's when the cars, they just bounce along the straight a little bit. But it's certainly not in the Codemasters game, and certainly not an old one. So that confused me, as Toxic Tomato is, have to say, running well here. He had a terrible qualifying, but he's running quite well in 5th position, the 2nd lowest 16-lap-old medium runners, 2nd lowest man still to make a mandatory required pit stop in the Grand Prix. And he's under pressure from Sanchez. Oh, no, he's not, because that's a mistake from Sanchez. That's a big mistake from Sanchez. If he falls out of DRS of here, he may find himself slowly falling into oblivion of Jerry Bussell. We're getting to a more interesting phase, folks. I know you might be falling asleep or have to make another coffee here, but we're getting into the interesting phase, because we go. We have a pit stopper. Little Blocks is into the pit lane for a soft compound of tyres, and they will start to cut through the field a little bit. Maybe not Little Blocks getting to here, but Bahrain definitely can. He will come out a few seconds behind these lot. These guys, they are in what will be the provisional lead of the race, but they are also 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th. Can Axel have a run on Jerry Bussell? Finally, he needs to be risky here. He absolutely isn't. Backs off at the final moment. And now, K3 has fallen off even more, because Axel had that extended toe. It was a distance toe for K3, not as powerful, obviously, as Toxic Tomato is struggling on those mediums as well. As it stands, Bahrain would jump from 4th to 2nd in the Drivers' World Championship in the final race. That would be some feat, considering how close the championship was until Stefano and Bjorn did have their bad luck. Of course, Bjorn missed 6 weeks due to injury. Stefano has missed almost 6 weeks. I believe it's 5 weeks due to software issues. Not software issues, hardware issues. It was his wheel that broke. As the... Oh, that's a big slide for Rick. We didn't really catch that one, but I was having a bit of a look in the corner of my eye, and that was a huge slide. Race leader change. Bugatti is in the lead as Barril is into the pit lane. We'll see where he comes out behind these lot. It will be interesting to see. Can somebody have a run? No, these guys are all too far away from anybody really. Sanchez though could have a run on Toxic Tomato for the first real time today, because Tomato has no DRS heading up towards turn number 4. Can Sanchez get the loud pedal down quick enough? No, he cannot, and I believe Tomato might just defend this one. He does, as Lickleblocks has come out just ahead of Marcel. Marcel almost pressuring Lickleblocks. Marcel's still in this race, mind you. He would still win the championship despite not scoring points. And the reason Marcel would is because there's nobody here to beat him. The two rivals are absent today. To be fair, the last few races we've had, it's actually been a really poor showing for the championship contenders, as here comes Sanchez down the inside of Tomato. That could be a crucial move in terms of the pit stops. Oh, they make contact! Tomato in the wall! And he's broken his front wing. Lucky to survive in the Grand Prix here. That car is still moving. But they've just made contact, and the Mercedes-man has ended up spinning into the wall. Very, very unlucky, and he will limp home to the pit lane, and that is race presumably over for the Mercedes-man. As Barril set a purple sector number 2. And Bugatti piles into the pit lane. So here we go. Now the leaders are actually in the lead. Speaking of leaders, hello to Dara Smith, who's in the chat now. Our pole sitter from today was very unlucky in the race. Had an incident with Bjorn, and Lickleblocks goes for purple. 28.0 is the fastest lap, and where are these going to come out in relation to Bugatti? Can he get an undercut? Bugatti was ahead of him. It's really late on the brakes. Oh, Bugatti's pulled wide. He was taking a visit to the Gulf Airways sponsorship, maybe booking a flight for his summer holidays, but he has run very wide. Marcel is, well, I was going to say on the back of him, but Bugatti's actually got brilliant straight line speed there. Such a bad season for Mises. Well, there's been some high points. Hungary definitely won. Very unlucky to lose that one. Saudi Arabia was another good race for young Dara Smith. And last week was decent until the poor gamble, Imola. And then the pace has definitely improved for the Williams-man. He wasn't really at the front in the start of the season, but then from Hungary onwards he has been always a contender. Very good in qualifying. That's something to note and something to carry on into next season. As Marcel is in DRS of Bugatti, so he might get back into this race, and somehow he doesn't really need to. He just needs to limp home. And the only reason he is limping home is probably for a nice little speech from me at the end, because he's won the championship. But still no movement at the front of this queue, and I fear we won't ever get any movement at the front of this queue, because it feels like we've been watching it for the last 4 hours, as Axel is really late in the brakes there. Barril sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. To be fair, he's charging, and he's charging up to Zane, and probably will dismantle the Alfa Romeo with no issues whatsoever. Oh, we do have movement, and it's a swap from Red Bull Racing. Rick has been allowed through. Is that a multi-3-4? Is it a multi-21? Whatever you want to call it. Is that a tactical manoeuvre from Red Bull? Because they definitely didn't look close enough to go for an overtake, unless someone had a bit of a wobble. We'll have to wait and see. Was that a tactical move? We have some FES members in the chat, so I wonder, are they aware of this information? Because Rick can now have a go at Axel. Will there be a clip of the formation lap up on Twitter? I think we've posted too many of them. I don't think anyone cares at this point, as Barril has got the job done on Zane. The QR teamman is up to 5th spot, and he's charging. He's something to play for. He could still finish 2nd in the championship. As it stands, he gets 3rd from 4th, but he could still beat Stefano with a mega result. As here we go. Now there's something a little bit to play for, because Rick seemingly has more pace than K3. That's why FES might have did that swap. That's why Red Bull might have did that swap. But we'll have to wait and see. Yes, that was my controller hitting the floor. But here comes Rick. He's close to Axel now. We head up towards turn number 4. Nobody close enough yet. K3's fallen back. That's the K3 has fallen back. That was a good decision from Red Bull, clearly, to allow Rick to attack, because Rick can keep with these front two. K3 is very much struggling to do so. He's out of DRS of his teammate. Bugatti has charged past Lickle Blocks. This is an uneven battle here, as Toxic Tomato sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Fair play, son. That's a really good lap, with it in the 27s for the Mercedes. Man, that might be quicker than his qualifying time, as here comes Axel. No, I thought he was closer, but I thought he was closer on a lot of occasions today. Rick has definitely sparked a movement in this front three. That swap from Red Bull has definitely lit a match somewhere along this DRS train. There goes Sanchez past championship soon to be crowned winner Marcel. The gap from Marcel to the leader is in fact 18 seconds. I thought it was worse, I can't lie. Here comes Rick. This is what Red Bull want. This is the movement Red Bull want, as Rick is going to charge. 4-second spot. Axel could charge for first. Here we go, down towards turn 1. What we've been waiting for about 15 laps or so now. It is the battle that's finally sparked, but Rick could not do too much there. That was due to having 2 cars in front of him and not 1, and we will have to wait for the next lap, presumably, for an overtake. There's been last lap overtakes here in Bahrain. Does anybody remember Mr. Pop XL versus the Ferrari, whose name I cannot recall? Mr. Pop XL unfortunately lost the lead at the last moment in Bahrain back in season 28 here in the F5 tier. That was at the Bahrain short section, you might remember. There was none of these corners. We were cutting straight through. It was a very odd race, I won't lie to you. It was really odd, but it was an exciting one nevertheless, as hopefully this one is to the end. Axel's in big trouble. Axel is in big trouble if he cannot keep in DRS. He will fall to 3rd position. Although he's just kept it. He's going to struggle though. There won't be that extra toe from Jerry Bassell. Can Rick just get the exit out of 15 that he needs? Oh, I think Axel could just be safe. Whatever's happening, the guys who are going for the overtakes just don't get the run out of the final corner. And DRS just does not help their game. And now we're back within 5/10 of each other. Jerry's hard work absolutely undone. Here comes Borrell. He's got past the Red Bullman. The Red Bullman's got to fight back up the inside, but Borrell charges past. You know, I'm not saying he could, but there's a chance Borrell wins this one. He is only 2.4 seconds off Rick, and these tyres will make the end for Borrell. So there is a chance. There is a chance, I tell you. He's fighting for this second in the championship. He's absolutely scrapping for it. There's the train we've been watching all afternoon. Look at it, just in front of the Ferrari man. There's still a battle on our hands in terms of the championship. The winner might already be declared on everything but mathematics, but Borrell's championship is declared on everything but his pure skill. 1.6. He could get into DRS at the end of this lap, you know. I would fancy him. I would fancy him for this Grand Prix victory. 1.5. I don't think he'll quite get it unless he has a monster 13, which he might well do. Here we go into 13. Can he just get the throttle pinned a lot quicker than the guys in front? No, he cannot. He'll have to wait a lap. As K3, whatever's happened to him, he's just fallen. He's just absolutely fallen. Front 3 remain at about a 5/10 gap. Jerry's pulled out all the cards here. He has quite quick pace. It's Borrell not using his battery. He's taken a clever route to the end of this Grand Prix. He knows it's going to be difficult to pass in a DRS train, but these guys are on older tyres, they're on more dispensed battery, and they're on more pressure really, because they've been running in such close proximity for this whole evening. Borrell needs a monster middle sector because he hasn't really gained in the first sector. Oh, Rick's picked up a 3-second time penalty. That's him out of race winning contention here, because we've only 4 laps to go, unless all these guys pick up one. I can't see the FES man winning this, and we can see he's struggling with his tyres. That's how you pick up those. Down into 10, Bareil's in the DRS. This would be a magnificent third victory for Bahrain. He won in Hungary, he won in the United States. Could he win here in Bahrain as well? I've definitely seen easier things. I have definitely seen easier things done. He has 3 cars to overtake in a track that is not easy for overtaking when 3 cars are in close proximity, but he's giving it a go! Through 13, he's really close to Rick. He is really close to Rick, and he may as well have a go down towards turn number 1. The Schumacher corner, as we said, named after him, and after his unfortunate accident, the 7-time world champion won here. As Bahrain almost goes around into the wall. Here comes Bahrain though. He might not get a go at Rick due to that DRS, and unless Rick can have a go at Axel, Bahrain might find himself stuck in that Ferrari. He's going to have to pull something out of the bag while he has the fresh tyres. Axel is right behind Jerry, and this is probably the closest he's been in about 5 laps. But it's not going to be enough, I imagine, because Jerry's just got the run out of there all day long. Can Bahrain chuck it up the inside of Rick? It's a bit too far back, but he has broke later. He could maybe send it down towards turn number 8. Oh, he might send it into 6. Bahrain's trying for the inside. No, backs off. Probably the clever option, but it has set him off. He could have chucked it into there if he caught Rick napping. Rick has not been caught napping. He could chuck it into this next corner if he catches Rick napping. We're on board with the Ferrariman as he almost chucks it up the inside of Rick. Toxic Tomato picks up another 3-second time penalty. He won't be finishing near the points today, which is unlucky for him. Here we go. Bahrain is, what's his ERS on? We will check that now. Oh, he's on 5 as well. He hasn't really saved, which is probably not going to do him any favours here, but Rick's got a poor exit out of turn number 11 and into 12 and into 13. It's Bahrain. He sends one up the inside of the Red Bull man, and Bahrain, no, he cannot get it done. He sends Rick off the circuit. We're side by side heading into the final corner. This is not going to help for either of them. Wheel banging, the Red Bull and the Ferrari side by side towards 14. Bahrain gets it done. That could be a crucial move if he goes on to win this race, but it's going to be a very difficult feat to achieve as we head down towards turn number 1. Once again, there's nobody really close enough because Bahrain got that one done just at the right time. He knows he's not getting it done into turn number 1 unless it is for the race lead. His tyres are going to start falling off soon though. Bugatti gets past Zane and Bugatti are side by side through turn number 1. We've been focusing on that race lead for so long, but Bugatti gets up to 7th spot, finished on the podium in the last 2 races. Hazara, who said he was going to enter the top 5, he has entered the top 5, gets past K3, and FNR Hazara finds himself back in the top 5 in Bahrain for the 2nd season running. Unfortunately, does have a penalty, but he is still going to finish on top 5 on track, which I suppose counts for something, as Bahrain is right on the back of Axel. Bahrain still has a chance here in this one. This would be an absolute masterclass of a second stint for QRT Bahrain if he was to win this one, and you know, I actually fancy him for it at this point in the race. He just needs to keep calm, cool and collected, and needs to not make any unnecessary moves or mistakes. He's going to chuck it up the inside here. He did it on the last lap on Rick. He is going to chuck it up the inside, Bahrain. Second time lucky? No, he's going to have to wait for a third. He does not get the job done on Axel, but Axel could fall out of DRS here if he's not careful. He's burning all his battery, but Bahrain, if he can get the launch out of turn number 14 and 15, he might just fancy himself for this second spot. Has he got the launch? He absolutely has got the launch here on 27. We are on to the final 2 laps of the season here in F5, apologies, here in round 15. I've got them both wrong. Down the inside goes Bahrain. What a send for the 21 Ferrari. He left no space, but he didn't need to. He got the car stopped before the corner, and now Bahrain could charge on. He only has 1 car in front of him and 2 laps to achieve the race winning move. What a way it would be to take your 3rd win of the season. It would be absolutely unbelievable to take 2nd in the championship by a P11 to P1 comeback. We didn't even consider him for a race win until about 5 laps ago. Well, I didn't, you all in the stream chat might have, but this is unbelievable. It's going to be a last lap shootout here, isn't it? It absolutely is going to be a last lap shootout, and they're both on about the same dead tyres and about the same bad battery. Bahrain versus Jerry. Jerry's been cruelly denied of 2 victories already this season in a very short F5 career from him. He's been on the podium 3 times in 4 races. They have been all second places, and they've been 2 second places and 1 third, and they're toying for the DRS. This is going to allow Axel. Jerry tried to sneak the DRS. It did not work. Barril tucks into the slipstream, and alongside the Mercedesman, we enter the final lap of the season. The AlphaTauri's got to go for the move as well. We're 3 wide into the final corner, and Axel's up the inside of Barril. Barril hangs it the long way round, and for the final time, we head through turn number 1. Who's going to win this one? Nobody knows, because Axel has to run on the dead tires Ferrari. He's pushed off and he's still got it up the inside. Axel has taken the race lead. We were talking about Barril and Jerry, but Axel pushes Barril off the circuit side by side into turn number 6. It's so close. Baril's almost been pushed off. He's been pushed over the curb. Oh, he's gone round. Hero 2-0 in a matter of seconds for Barril. And now we still don't know who's going to win this race. This could be a drag race to the line. Jerry Bussell versus Axel. Axel is not expected to win this Grand Prix. Jerry's going to send it. Jerry's going to send it. No, he's not. He tucks in right behind. Rick's not going to win this one via penalty, but he could still take it on the circuit. That's how close we've been. Is Jerry going to send it here? He's really far back. He is going to go for the race lead. Up the inside. What an overtake. He had a fantastic move around the outside into Tosa in Imola. He's gone up the inside, and now Axel's got to go up the inside into the final corner for the final time. They've both been pushed off. Who's going to win this one? Oh, they both made contact. Rick is going to win. Rick has won the Bahrain Grand Prix. On the final lap of the season, Rick wins in Bahrain. But we have to cut to it. It's been 1 win. It's been 5 podiums in 15 rounds. He heads to the German motorsport elegance. Sebastian Vettel, Nico Rosberg, the great Michael Schumacher all before him. They step aside for the superior, the stupendously quick former F6 champion, and now at the tender age of 25, he becomes the new PSGL F5 World Drivers Champion. Marcel, take a bow. Your championship may have been slightly overlooked by that last lap, but we still got the speech in for you. What an end to a brilliant season. That, as in the words of the great commentator, this is fantastic. And Toxic Tomato rounds it off with the fastest lap. Remember when I said that he was going to end near the points? Whew. Take a deep breath. Commentator almost started laughing. I can't lie, I laugh when I get very excited. And that was crazy. Oh no. I didn't expect it to crash, I won't lie. I didn't expect it to crash. Where did Barril even finish in the end? Is that a Red Bull 1-2? Have we just had a... Hold on, Bugatti's ended up on the podium again. How? How have we let this happen? FES Rick, wait, it was a Red Bull 1-2. How did FES get a 1-2 out of that? FES Rick wins the Bahrain Grand Prix ahead of K3, PA5. Zane finishes in 3rd ahead of Barril, Bugatti, Hazara, Lickleblock, Sanchez, Marcel, Simon, Toxic Tomato, Lakitu, Axel, Jerry Bussell, Dara Smith and Pro Gamer. Axel, Jerry Bussell, Dara Smith and Pro Gamer being our non-finishers. But Marcel's the champion! After 15 of the best Grand Prix, Marcel takes 2 championships in 2 seasons. It was F6 last season. It was F5 this season. Will it be F4 next season? we have to wait and see, folks. But just from me, thank you very much for tuning in. Unfortunately, I didn't have my season partner Brendan here tonight with me, but I do hope you enjoyed. Anyways, that was absolutely tremendous racing, and it may have been a bit dirty, but we waited about 15 laps for that. We were going to get a spectacle at the end of this race. So from me, thank you very much for tuning into this fantastic Grand Prix season. If you want to tune into some of our other tiers, you can. I don't know if they're still on. We normally run latest for some reason. But yes, Marcel is the champion along with his team Alfa Romeo. And FES finished 1-2. Who would have thought? Stay safe, stay well, and we'll see you next time.